Good morning.
Good morning.
And wasn't that a wonderful keynote? I mean, it really got the juices flowing, at least for me. So, my name is Krish, right? And let me move forward. Thank you, Michael, for setting the stage. I think, can you all hear me clearly back there, first of all? Let me check. Yeah. So, Michael talked us through context and the survey that's going on. And we just met, what, 20 minutes back?
20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see that the work that we're doing is dovetailing. And this is where I think systemic work seems to be coming into play. So I sit in Singapore, okay, which I'm told is about 4 times the size of Manhattan, so we're not small. Okay? But, and a lot of the work that I do is around team coaching. So my journey to coaching really comes from being a practitioner. I spent 30 years in large organizations, corporates. My last job on the corporate side was on business and strategy with one of the largest software companies. I was global vice president for the strategic customers for a company called SAP. And I would run key account planning and strategy sessions. And somewhere there, at the end of the day, people would come and talk to me, and then I would like this thing about, we do the team interaction, and then there's this one-on-one interaction happening. That brought me to Columbia to do my certification in coaching. I went back and said, hey, this is what I want to do the rest of my life, and that's why I'm here. So, but all through those, whatever I did, what struck me was the curious influence that external factors, right, seem to have on the output and work of a team. And much of the time, that those external factors are not obvious to the team, to the facilitator, and in this case, when I've become a team coach, sometimes not even to the team coach as well. So, quick show of hands before we move forward. How many folks in the room are team coaches? Yeah, wonderful, right? So as I said, I come from a practitioner's perspective, but we need to have a common understanding of terms, and team coaching is a discipline which I believe is still emerging, finding its space. But I like to work with Peter Hawkins' definition of systemic team coaching, where he talks about team coaching as being a process of engagement where the team coach works in partnership, and that's a key word, in partnership with the team to help to enhance the performance of the team, which could be either in actual result areas, could be in the areas of how we are working together, or could be a collective leadership exercise where we're looking at how do we deliver value to our stakeholders, right? So this is what I'm going to do. But again, before jumping forward, I like doing this little playful thing, so please humor me, right? So think about it. We are in, say, 2040. Let me take you to the future, 30 years from now. Team coaching has been established. The other thing that's happened is Elon Musk has gone through his turbulent times and has successfully put together a team, and we've managed to actually set up human settlement on Mars, right? And one of your plans is actually open the regional office uptown on Mars, right? And you're on a flight on Virgin Galactic, say, right? To coach the team, the leadership team there, right? Because they seem to have run into an issue of conflict. How do you approach that problem? How do you approach the exercise? Would you start with an assessment and say, hey, show me the team profiles? Would you start with, so what would you do? I don't have the answers, I just have questions. Yes, please.
I was getting to know who's in your group, like, just start connecting.
So who's in the room and gets connected? What else? What do you do? Yes,
Interviews.
Interviews. Who would you interview?
Well, I'll probably start with the team members themselves.
What would you ask them?
What's going on?
What's going on? Okay. Yeah.
I might ask them individually what they need in order to feel safe when we come together as a team.
So what they need to feel safe.
What conditions they need.
Okay. Okay. Great.
I like to observe them in a meeting, just to sit there as an independent observer and see the kinds of interactions.
They're on Mars, maybe video conferencing works, right? So yeah, but yeah, you would like to observe them. Okay. What else?
I like to get feedback on the people they're responsible for.
feedback on the people, okay? Okay, so you'd like to collect an opinion. Yes, so the various approaches. Now, what I learned through my various team coaching and account planning engagement is perhaps there is a need for us as team coaches to step back before we get too close to the people. And that's really what I'm going to talk about. And I'll talk about the methodology, I'll talk about a little bit of the literature that I use, which kind of validates some of my assumptions and my practices. We'll talk about a framework, which is how do we actually deconstruct context, right? And particularly in our world of today, which you're all familiar with the VUCA world, right? The term VUCA. So I don't think it's a VUCA world anymore. I think it's a VUCA on steroids. It used to be a VUCA world when the US Defense coined the term in 2003. But after 2007, and we have that little gadget which sits in our pockets and constantly demands our attention, it's become really VUCA on steroids. So we'll talk about that, the need for us as team coaches to deconstruct, right? This is some of the literature that let me start with. So I've got, it's a practitioner-based approach. So I've got my experiential learning, things that are validated with other team coaches as well. So I'm part of the ICF team coaching center we have a center of excellence there, which is run by ICF, which I'm part of. We did a survey on team performance. I'm going to share some of those findings. Peter Hawkins, Amy Edmondson, Barry Oshry. How many of you are familiar with Barry Oshry's work? Show of hands? Yeah, so a lot of what I've learned in this space actually comes from what Barry Oshry has done. It's very, very interesting. I'll talk a little bit about that. And finally, Carl Wick's work around making sense of the organization. And then, as I said, my background is strategy and business development. So the application of strategic frameworks, which sit in the realm of management, but how do you apply that to team coaching engagements? That's what I'm going to talk about. Yeah. So, what did the survey tell us? We did a survey earlier this year, and we had about 107 corporate executives responding. We went to them with a broad survey on team performance. But we did ask them the question, which is, what factors do you think impact team performance? And it was a rather broad kind of question. And we got a whole lot of responses. And sorry for the fine print there, but you'll see a distinction. And the question was framed this way, saying that on a scale of 0 to 100, which factors impact the team's performance? So if it is 0 means it has no impact, and 100 means it has maximum impact. So what's interesting is you see factors central to the team, which is things like team culture, trust, openness, team interpersonal dynamics, achievement of team goals, team stakeholders, team structure. They kind of rank 74% and above, right? But then you have a curious set of a huge number of other factors, which is things like organization structure, changing customer requirements, stakeholder expectations, competitive activity, which go down to a significance, and I would say anything about 50% is significant. A whole host of them lie kind of under the surface, right? Now the question is, can we as coaches afford to be willfully blind to these factors while we're focusing only on the individual? And I have a theory around that. We as coaches learn to put the coachee at the center of everything. In team coaching, the team is at the center. Now there's nothing wrong with that assumption. It's just my belief that in this VUCA world, we need to be a little better than that. You cannot afford to be willfully blind to the contextual elements that probably are creating the conditions that the coachee and the team are experiencing, right? So, again, this is probably the most used metaphor in the world. I try to build a definition for context, right? And I really use the good old Oxford English dictionary to say, what do they say about context? What is context? So the Oxford dictionary describes or defines context as the circumstances that make for the settings that that define an idea, statement, or event by which it can be fully understood. That didn't make too much sense for me. That was like a little circular. So I came up with this definition, right? And I'll read it out. Context as applicable to an individual coachee or team refers to the dynamic and continuous interaction of systemic factors arising from the broader external environment which directly or indirectly impact the experience and performance of the human system. Right? Teams are human systems, and I'll talk a little bit about that. Whether at an organizational level, at a team level, or an individual level of engagement. Right? So that for me again is rather broad, but that for me is the definition of context. And again, going back to the fact that the VUCA-ness of where we are today probably confounds this. I drew inspiration from Barry Oshie's work, and I don't know whether you have ever experienced his organizational workshop. It's a great experience where in one day you simulate what happens in an organization. Barry Oshie spent 30 to 40 years studying human systems. And the common thing that he came out with is that we as humans are a storytelling species. We are here today, we kind of, I won't say rule, but we are all over the planet, and hopefully we will continue to be there, so sometime won't kind of do something silly, which we seem to be often doing, but we are a storytelling species and we collaborate. But Barry Oshie's work led to this insight, which is that we live our own little stories. So I have my story, you have your story, and we almost live in different worlds, right? So I might be in a team, but in that team I might be in the finance world, and I'm the other person from the marketing world. We sit together, but our experience is completely different. And as a result, when I work in that team, I cannot leave that world. Right? So as a team coach, I need to be able to understand what's the story. The second thing is, because story is so powerful, the way to bring that team together is perhaps to create a unifying story. What is the story that we can understand together that makes us inhabit a common world? And that's what context does. And that's where, again, my submission is a new competency that we have to develop as team coaches is sense making. I don't see that term sense making in any list of coaching competencies. It is my submission that we need to bring it in. In this VUCA world, it's not enough for coaches to ask questions. Yes, they are important, but we need to help the teams discover the answers for themselves and make sense of whatever is happening. Carl Ewig, who is a organizational scientist, and he's a professor at the University of Michigan, he talks about organizations being systems of interpretation. Right? And that's a wonderful description, I think. What are organizations? They are systems of interpretation which sense the environment, interpret, respond, and learn. Right? And folks within the organization are constantly striving to do that, make sense, respond. Now, when change is happening so rapidly, it becomes difficult, and that probably creates a crisis that brings teams together for coaching. So we as team coaches have the opportunity to step in and help the teams make sense of what's going on, right? But how do we do that? And this is where I would like to present a framework that I've been using. So typically, when we get involved in team coaching, the starting point is what we call typically a team challenge. Right? We are told that, hey, there's an alignment issue, or there's a new member who's come on board, and we need to bring the person, so that is the team challenge, right? And we typically look at what surrounds, so some of the things that you said, which is who are the people, what's the culture, what's the dynamic. My submission is we need to step back, and we talk about certain strategic frameworks that we can use, but what's the macro context? Like anybody here from Europe? Yeah. So if I say the word Brexit, what would you say? Right? Everything is happening in that context, right? Or somebody from Japan, right? Harada-san, right? We talk from Singapore. We have a chronic issue of an aging population. That's all in the macro context. And then you have the industry context, which is probably a little closer, which is what's happening in terms of industries are getting completely redefined. Good old SIC or Hoover classification no longer applies. Right? Yesterday we were having a discussion of all companies of ours becoming data companies. Right? Banks don't know where they are going. Right? So there is customer preferences changing, technology changing, competition changing, disruption happening. And again, we as coaches need to understand that. Right? And finally, it comes to the organizational context, which is really where the outside meets the inside, right? And it becomes closer to the team. So when you're having these conversations, if you, as coaches, we start understanding it at these three levels, we then will have a better appreciation of the team challenge. Right? So this is what I call the nested multi-level context framework, and my submission is we need to unpeel that onion outside in rather than inside out. How do we apply this? And let me give you three applications. The first thing as team coaches, even before I go to Mars, I would probably do some back reading on Mars. What's the temperature on Mars? Like, what are these people breathing? Okay. What's a day in the life on Mars look like? So a little bit of that background, right? And then go into things like so that's before I even have the conversation of what's the challenge. I step in and get the challenge, have an understanding, and my perspective is probably enriched, or I would say, hey, these guys probably are missing a trick or two. The second part is when I get into the team coaching engagement, I like to really start with this discussion. So guys, what's happening? Describe your world. Right? What brought you to do it? I do a very interesting exercise called legacy, which how did we get here? And it's amazing when you talk to a team, same organization, but 7 different people will have 7 different history descriptions of how we got here, what we did, what are the key milestones in our journey. Right? Industry context, in terms of who's disrupting us, what's the competition. So why are we having conflict? Because you know what? Our business went online. But that's creating conflict in the team. Again, organizational context. So I was talking about, the first is before having the conversation with the stakeholders. The second is during the engagement. And third is finally when I keep checking in, right? After say I do during the team coaching engagement, maybe do a 3 to 6 month check-in. I'll always go and ask, so what's changed? What's changed in the macro environment? What's changed for you from the industry standpoint? What's changed in the organization? And it brings this sense of we are all fighting the same battle. We are all swimming in the same ocean. Therefore, we are not different. Right? And that really helps to bring, as a team coach, helps me to align forces within the team and get the team to have an appreciation that, there was this old Pogo comic strip. I don't have that, I'd love to have put that up, but Walt Kelly had this 1951 comic strip that said that I have seen the enemy and it is us, right? So here I'd like to offer a slightly different perspective. I've seen the enemy and perhaps it's not us, right? So it's not about what's going on so we need to look outside before we come in, right? So that's what I want to leave behind this conclusion. Context is key, right? We can't afford to avoid it. We need to become sense makers. We need to look at unpeeling the onion outside in. There are multiple strategic frameworks. In the handouts that I've given, we shared as PDF, we've got some examples. But in the references, there's a book that has got more than, there are plenty of books available which have all these strategic frameworks. The ideal thing is using context as part of the discussion, and that allows us as team coaches to really steer the discussions in a way that doesn't necessarily straight away go to the what I call the prickly points of the engagement within the team. Yeah. Thank you very much. This is my list of references.
Thank you, Krish.
Thank you.
So just two things also, the presentation is in the app. So